All right, good morning, kids. Today we're going to talk about how to finish out the outside of our slab pot. So once the form is dry enough that we can set it on its rim, we're going to flip it over, and we can see on the bottom that we need to add some coils, and we can see on the side that we need to add some coils. So we'll go ahead and we'll just scratch and slip, just like what we did before. And when I scratch, I was kind of scratching between the base and the sidewalls. And we'll go ahead and we'll get some clay. And then we'll roll out a coil. And I just want a tiny, tiny little coil. I only need enough to be able to fill that groove. All right, so I don't want a big, bulky coil that I eventually have to get rid of. So we'll go ahead and we'll paint our areas that we scratched. We take a coil, set it into the indentation. And then it's just a matter of making sure that everything is nice and smooth, okay? And to me, the bottom of the pot is as important as the top of the pot. I like a high level of craftsmanship everywhere in my work. So I really want to go through and I want to make this as perfect as I possibly can. And by doing this, not only am I making it look better, but I'm also making sure that I have a really good bond between all of my pieces. Because the last thing I want to do is invest a whole bunch of time into this and have my work separate later on in the process because I just didn't scratch and slip well enough, or I didn't rub over the edges of the form to get a good enough bond. Sometimes I even like to take my slip brush and just kind of brush over top of it to make it just a little bit smoother. And that'll knock down any finger marks that I might have left in the work. Then lastly, on each of my exposed edges, I want to do the same thing. So I'll go ahead and I'll scratch that. And I'm making sure to kind of scratch both pieces. I'll apply slip. And again, I'm just going to take a tiny little coil and fill my groove. And I'm just going to kind of tap it in there first. And then I can take my finger and I can rub it in there just a little bit better. I don't want to press so hard that I alter my form, but I want to press hard enough that I'm getting a really good bond between the coil that I've just added and the slabs that were already in place. So I'll take my finger and I'll kind of work along the edge of this slab, kind of pushing the clay towards the corner. And then I'll come over to this side and I'll do the same thing. I'll work along the edge of the slab, kind of pushing the clay towards the corner. And then finally, I'll take my slip brush, just like I did on the bottom of the work, and I'll kind of finish that off. Okay? And we would do this to all exposed sides. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut the video off, and we'll